So I gotta make this quick because I don't have a graphics card. But this is my Sorcerer tank build. Really good in vet content, progressions, hard mode, stuff like that. We got Pierce Armor, which is a source of minor breach, major breach. Revealing Flare for major protection, which also synergizes with Reviving Barrier, which procs your passive, and the support skill line for Magicka Aid gives you some magic recovery. Let's see. For our damage shield, we have Regenerative Ward, which gives you minor intellect and minor endurance to you and nearby allies by 10 seconds. It scales off your max health or magicka, and the shield is capped at 55% of your max health, which is very nice. We got Boundless Storm, which gives you major resolve, and major expedition, makes you a little fast boy. Vibrant Shroud, which gives you minor vitality, increasing your healing received and damage shield strength by 6% by 10 seconds. You want to use this before you use your regenerative ward. Trust me, it works better. It also gives major main to anything that's standing in your way and reduces their damage by 10% for 10 seconds. Reviving Bear to also help out with that Magicka Aid and the support skill line, like we talked about. For our first skill on the back bar, we got Bound Aegis, which is minor protection, minor resolve, reducing your damage taken by 5%, increasing your armor by 2,974. And this is while it's slotted on either bar. Really good source for everything else. And it also gives you a 50% mitigation for 4.8 seconds. Magic Trample for Heroism for 10 seconds, generating ult. This is for when you don't have a pure Warden, Healer, or Tank. Blockade of Frost, which is going to proc your Crusher enchant on your back bar that you should have on infused for your Ice Staff. Dark Deal for really good sustain recovery, keeping all your resources up. When you use it, it will drop your blocks, so just be wary of that. Leashing Soul is my pull. Keep in mind, this can be replaced for a taunt, just as well as this can be replaced by anything else. And then we're using Summon Charged Atro. This gives Major Berserk, which can pair with Saxio for Major Force. Definitely helps out your group. Class Masteries have a calculated defense, which gives you a 0.5-second damage shield if it persists and does not get broken. Nearby and group members gain 6% weapon and spell damage for 20 seconds. Really good, and also adds a little shield on it. So it could be used when you're popping any of your sorcerer skills. That could be whether it's Regenerative Ward, Bound Storm, Vibrant Shroud, your Dark Deal, or your Bound Aegis. It works for all of it. Spear of Influence is your second one that you're going to be using. Casting your damage shield on yourself or an ally grants additional shield that absorbs up to 6,279 damage for 4 seconds, and also gives you recovery on your health, magic, and stamina for 225, and it lasts for 12 seconds. That is pretty much the build. We have our CP that gives Ironclad, Enduring Resolve, Duelist Rebuffed, and Unassailable, which can change depending on what trial you're doing if you really want to go that far, but it's really not needed. Since the Sorcerer is so sustaining and surviving through majority of everything, I don't really have much of the other, blocking things, but the only one I do have um, is Wardmaster, because we will have her shield up at most times. So it also helps out with a lot of that mitigation. It's not really mitigation, but it's reduction, but kind of the same jazz. We got Balanced Vitality and Fortified, just helps out a little bit. Why not? We don't really need any other stuff. And Celerity to make you a little fast boy. So the food I'm running is Sugar Skulls. Really good. Easy to make, cheap, stuff like that. But besides that, there's really not much more that you need for the build. It's very simple, very easy. You can tank a lot of the hard-hitting attacks from almost everything in the game and not worry about it, and also not suffer from resource loss. So it's a very nice little build to put together. It's the one I use in most of the things I play. This is my most comfortable tank because of how easy it is and how much buffing it does. The only thing that sorcerers really lack is like debuffing bosses unless it benefits, your damage intake or group intake. Um, Group damage intake. It's a very um, it could be very selfish if you change around some of these skills and you start using it for more healing yourself and stuff like that. It just won't work better for your group. But it's nice to look at things and see what you're going to be fighting or what type of content you're going to go into to decide what skill you're going to use. You can definitely play around it a little bit. Just don't get too selfish with the build, because then you just won't land groups and you get kicked out and you get bitched at. People start calling you names, and that's really not fun. At the end of the day, we're all here to play the game and, you know, clear actual content. So just stay away from it and all. Even if you're learning, I always advise against doing selfish builds. It's really not needed when you have something like this that you can. It's not very hard to do. And in case y'all wanted to see how I actually use all that damage reduction, so we'll use our Vibrant Shroud, which automatically gives us our buffs to tank up and get ready for an attack. You're always going to have your Major Resolve, so now you have Major and Minor Resolve put on. And then you have your Vibrant Shroud, and then you use the Shield, and then if you need to, you can use that. You don't need to, but it definitely helps. And then, as you can see, it keeps you very tanked up. You can tank anything. But as far as that goes, that's just my little sorcerer tank build.